Today, I'm going to give your AI superpowers. We're going to install MCPs to your Claude desktop, and I'm going to show you how to completely do this from scratch. What this is going to do is make your AI do things inside of your desktop, like write files, read emails, search the web, and every other things that you can possibly think of. And it's going to introduce you into the world of MCPs, which is a brand new thing that's out there that's basically changing the way that AI communicates with different systems. And we're going to bring it right to your desktop or your laptop. So stay tuned and build along with us. So AI is advancing at an incredible pace. And what's really cool about it is some of these things that are coming out are absolutely bananas. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce you to MCPs. Now, MCPs are like the US port for AI. So for anybody that doesn't know what a USB port is, think about anybody that has a laptop, or if you have some kind of phone, you know that it has a little port at the bottom that basically connects to other things, like a speaker, like your television, like a charging unit and everything else. So if you kind of look at the history of different things, right, and you look at my screen, USB ports were like kind of the change of the way technology works. Back then, if you had a camera and you needed to connect it to the computer, it had its own little thing that needed to connect it to it, which made it super complicated. And people had to have a certain attachment or a certain card in order for the camera to really connect to your computer. Phones almost had the same thing. Everything was kind of different, but now there's a standard USB-C port that connects to pretty much every single charger that's out there. Printers had their own cable. Remember, for some of us, they're a little dated. The printer cable used to be this big and you had to find it in the back of the computer and you can connect it. It was just a big mess of connections everywhere. Then the USB came along, really simple, the first original one that was there. And literally you took anything like a printer, like a light, like a mic, anything, and you just connect it to the back of your computer. And it's one standardized kind of connection for all the different things that are out there. And it became like the new standard, right? You plugged it and you played it. And that became the plug and play kind of change that computers experience, so which makes computer use a little bit easier and a lot less more complicated, right? And everything's just started working together. Well, lo and behold, MCPs are now the new thing that is making AI kind of work together. Because right now, right, in the stage that we're in now, before MCPs, each AI connection, right, if you wanted to talk to, let's say, Google, or you wanted to talk to search, or for instance, if you were using Claude before, Claude didn't have the search ability. Just recently got it now, but it didn't have it natively, and you always had to like connect it, right? It was really good at answering questions, getting information from the web and everything else, but it really didn't connect to anything personal, or you had to have a coding kind of background to figure out how to make the connections. And if you were a coder, it was very complicated because every connection requires its own little programming. Now, I don't want to get into the super technical piece of this because I'm trying to make this as non-techy as possible, but just think of it, it kind of was really hard for AI to do other things and perform actions or get your information without you having to constantly feed different things and everything else. And today what we're going to show you is kind of the sneak peek into the world that's developing right now. We're like at the forefront of it. That's now going to introduce MCPs. So now think of it like the USB port. My AI needs my information, and instead of it going and me being a programmer and having to calculate it, maybe I just give it access to my Google Drive and it can go find all the stuff it needs. Well, before, if I wanted to do something like that, I would need to be a programmer in order to do it. Well, now comes this MCP, and I'm going to show you today because we're actually going to do it today. So you're going to have the ability of understanding and figuring this out. It now can connect to Google Drive because somebody out there created a little kind of connection that allows us to now connect this like sort of semi-USB port directly to our AI to not only grab files in my Google Drive, but actually come back and get them, right? Now, it makes everything kind of like work together pretty seamlessly, and I don't need as much technical knowledge because somebody's out there building the servers and all I'm doing is connecting mine to theirs, which makes it really cool, right? Now, if we look at this, all right, just think of a scenario. How many sales did I have yesterday, right? Normally AI would, well, I don't have that information. I don't have anything connected. Well, we connected to, let's say, our Shopify MCP. It grabbed the data from our Shopify app, bring it back and say, hey, you had 150 sales totaling this, and that's what you did yesterday. Now, I'm giving a very oversimplified example, but I'm trying to give you an idea of how this thing works, right? Now, USB comparison, read the data from different devices, send data to the different devices. The other thing this thing can do is it can perform actions. It can write things, it can create things, it can put things into a database, it can extract things from a database. Again, a little bit more technical knowledge and knowing how to do this stuff, but before you would have to know complete programming knowledge in order to do it. And now things are getting a little simpler. Now, the examples I'm going to give you today and that we're going to put into your Claude that you're going to be able to access directly from your Claude are going to be a little bit simplified, right? But all of my intention is today is one, show you what's possible, and then let you do your own exploring, because a lot of this is understanding how to do it. The other funny thing about this is if you don't understand something while you're trying to connect your MCP, you just ask Claude to help you, and it will give you an idea of what the steps are, and eventually you can just figure it out, right? Now, again, another example, if you look at the screen, you order me more red sneakers, and eventually AI will say, okay, I'm going to place an order for 200 sneakers, and it's just going to go ahead and do that for your business. Or if it's like, hey, go place an order on Amazon. Now, again, Amazon's not here yet, but it just gives you an idea of what the future pace of this is going to be like. But again, imagine just connecting to the different servers of the things you want to do versus having to like, oh, wow, I don't even know where to start, and I need to program and figure all this stuff out, right? So what makes it so special? Works everywhere, connects to all the different systems, standardize it, one consistent connection that every AI is starting to use. It's secure because you can only give a permission to the things you want it to do. So you can put in codes, you can put in security passwords, you can do all this. And it requires, again, very simple to use and a lot less technical information in order to do that. Plus, the people that do have the technical knowledge are operating thousands of times faster because they don't have to do all these other separate connections to make an application work. So that means that things are just going to come fast and hard for us when it comes to applications. And it always uses the up-to-date information because it's connecting directly to the server as long as the server is being up and maintained. Again, think about the USB. If the USB is dirty or it's not connecting properly because it's broken, no information is going to come through because this is not working right? But as long as that's all set, you're ready to go. And again, just for the visual examples, big universal translator. It's like the new model, the new language everybody's following. It's a door opener where the AI can now access all these different things. And it's super non-technical that a lot of people can catch on pretty quickly and get more advanced on the things that you do here. Now, kind of a visual stage is kind of understand how this works. You, the person, asks how many sales. It sends the information to the AI. AI still like, I don't have sales. I need to go get the sales. AI figures out where the sales are based on the servers that it has access to. Then it grabs the data and then the journey comes back, right? It goes back to the AI. The AI then communicates with you and tells you what sales you have. So it really truly becomes a new kind of personal assistant, right? So what we're going to do today is we're going to use Claude. Claude is like OpenAI for anybody else's. Like there's been videos on my YouTube channel that shows you how to use it and install it. But today we're going to take a different approach. We're not going to use the web version. We're going to install the one on our PC. The reason being is because Claude, even though they're the ones that created the MCP protocol, they are not kind of authorizing everybody's connected to these different servers because a lot of the servers right now are being built by, third-party people and everything else. So are they super safe? Again, I can't really dictate that right now because again, they're in the building stages. Everybody's trying to get on board with this. But honestly, there are videos out there where people are actually teaching other people how to build your own servers that can do all this stuff. Not going to get into that technicality today, but just understand that you have to download Claude into your PC in order to use it, and you need at least a paid version. Now, today, we are going to go over the PC setup. I am going to include an SOP that has the PC and the Apple instructions. Any other kind of computer, you kind of on your own. But I'm going to go over the PC instructions today. For all the people that are going to be doing the Apple version, just follow the SOP. Again, I don't have an Apple, so I can't really do this for you. Maybe somebody out there will do that for you, but we're going to do the PC version. I'll include the SOP instructions for both, but the process is honestly the same. It's just locating where files are. That's going to be a little difficult. The hardest part about this is going to be where to locate where things were installed. And then the second hard thing is creating your configuration file. And the third hard thing of this whole entire presentation is going to be like, how do I connect to different MCP servers that are out there? Hey, we want to interrupt this video for a quick little minute to just let you know that I hope you're enjoying this video. We want to thank you for being here, but more importantly, we are hoping that this content helps you do whatever you're trying to do inside a high level. We also want to let you know that you have options to get additional help. We offer a $197 a month VIP coaching program that includes 4 days of office hours, first come, first serve with Andy or myself, where we go in and we answer any of your questions that you might have live with the group setting for other people that are also working in high level. We also have a VIP VIP group where we answer questions directly one-on-one with anybody posting in that group to give you the absolute best support. It also comes with a bunch of other features, including our funnel brick system, our little mini course, and more importantly, a couple guides that'll help you through this, and also including our SOP library that we use for pretty much everything inside of our agency. So thank you for this quick little minute, but more importantly, go back to the video, get whatever you need, and if you have any questions that we can answer inside the video, just drop a comment on the video and we'll make sure to answer whenever we get a chance. And now back to the show. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is we are going to go over to Claude download. So you're going to see claude.ai/download. And what we're going to do is we're going to download the actual Claude app or my Windows, right? So I'm going to do that first, and I'm going to click on Windows. Now, if you are following along with the SOP is going to be down below, or it's going to probably be in a place where you got to sign up to get it. And again, it's going to be free. I'm not going to charge anybody for it, but here it has all the links and everything that you need, right? The download happens, go right here. I go to my downloads folder in File Explorer, and I go to downloads. I come in here and I'm going to download it right now. Okay. When I download it right now, it's going to install like every other app that comes in. All right, here we go. Notice that I have a new shortcut and it's there. All right. Now we got to do step 2. Step 2 is a little bit more technical, but not really. What we're going to do is we're going to come over here and we're going to go to something called Node.js. I'm not going to get into what Node is, but just understand that this is something that is required. It's basically running JavaScript everywhere. And a lot of the stuff that's working with these MCP servers requires JavaScript. Now, if you come in here and you click on this, it's very easy to install. You download it and it automatically installs to your computer. What this is going to do is it's going to open you up to allow JavaScript applications to run inside your computer, which again is going to be pretty cool for you to do. Once you download this, same thing. You're going to download it. You're going to install it to your C drive. Super easy to do. When you do, you're going to go to your Windows and you can do a little search for it. And if you type in Node.js, it's the first app that comes in, or you can switch your Windows in here. And again, you're also going to notice that you have a Anthropic Claude here. And you would notice also that you have Node.js. It's going to be this prompt that comes up in here in the command prompt. But again, I like going it through here because it's a little bit easier. And you want to double click Node. And it's going to bring up this black screen. This is called the command prompt. And all you're going to do is, again, if you follow the instructions, just to test to make sure it's all here, go back to your SOP. And in here, it tells you that you download it. And then you're going to copy this process.version.com, bring this little select Node.js, and you just want to make sure that you come in here, process version, and it's going to give you whatever the current version is that you have installed, and you're set to go. Okay, so we are good to go in here. Now comes the hard part. All right, so I'm going to bring this all down and I'm going to kind of go slow with this a little bit. What we're going to do is we are going to find a particular folder. Now, in an Apple, this will be different. In a PC, it's usually going to follow the same path. Just try to follow along, right? So I'm going to click on my File Explorer. And again, if you want to look up your File Explorer, you can do it one of two ways. Type in your Explorer, the little magnifying glass, File Explorer, bring this up. And you're going to get into something like a screen like this. What you're going to do is you're going to go mostly into your C drive. Inside of your C drive, you are going to look for users. You're going to select you, the user, whoever the main user, whatever you named this computer to be the user in here. Mine is my name. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to find a folder called app data. Now, if you can't see this, sometimes this happens. And if you can't see the folders, you have to click on view. And in view, you are going to go to hidden items. You're going to make sure that you click on that. So then all the files or items that are hidden are now showing. When you click on, like, see, if I click on that, all those files get hidden and I can't see the one I'm looking for. So I go to view, I click on hidden items, and now you're going to see a whole bunch of things appear. We're looking for, again, under users, under your name, we're looking for app data. And in app data, we're going to go for roaming. And then in roaming, we're going to go to Claude. And here, you're going to notice that you are in the kind of back end area of where the file's created. And all we're going to do is we're going to create our first MCP server connection. Now, it's very important that if you did clock into Claude and you're in, you want to make sure that you are out completely. And you're going to notice this big, in mine, it's black. I don't know, sometimes it might be wetter or different colors, but you're going to notice this when you click this little arrow up here, it's all the apps that are currently running on your system right as of now. What you're going to do is just make sure you quit it. If you're in an Apple computer, I believe you have to go to File up on top and then make sure you hit quit, because we are going to change configuration file directly inside of your PC, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to create our own. So before we do that though, again, I want you to go to the instructions, because if the folder was hidden, by the way, the instructions are right here, access the configuration folder. And what we're gonna do is we're now gonna go in there and we're gonna create a configuration file. Now, before we get into this, Claude, again, has a great kind of, again, this will all be linked in the bottom, where not only can you download your desktop app, but you can see an open repository of all the servers. In layman's term, all this means is these are all the cool servers that can do all the different things you want it to do, right? You have Brave Search, you have, again, Slack, you have Google Maps, Google Drive. There is a whole bunch of things you can do inside here. Some are a little bit more complicated than others, but again, you can use Claude itself to help you install these folders to make it pretty easy. And I'm also going to teach you on where you can actually put in MCP server helper that will actually help you install these servers into Claude to make your job even a whole lot easier, right? So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to start with one of the simplest ones out there, which is called Brave Search. Brave Search, for anybody that doesn't know, it is basically a browser just like Chrome, just like Safari, that allows you to search the internet. It's an easy one because it requires a few little steps and nothing major. But what happens is when you go again into that link that I provided for you and you come in here, I also gave you the example of what this file is going to be, but I'm going to give you a link to all the servers so you can do it yourself. And when you go in here, so all I did was come in here, I went to Brave Search, and it's going to give me a bunch of information. If I go all the way down and I go to what it does, these are all the things it could do. It can do a web search, it can do a local search for services and businesses. It can also do search terms, numbers of optionals, and everything else that you can set. So it even gives you what you can set up and everything else. Then what it does is usage with Claude Desktop, all right? And it tells you add this to your Claude Desktop config.json. Now, a lot of us are not going to have this, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to copy that naming convention. And remember that in the file explorer that we have in here, we're in this folder. So in somewhere in here, I'm going to right click, I'm going to click on the word new, and I'm going to create a text file. And notice it creates a text file right here, right? I actually have two created, so not to confuse anybody, I'm going to delete, and I'm going to click open my text file, all right? And it's going to bring me up the old-fashioned notepad. I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to grab in the server, it gives me this code to run, right? Now, we don't want to use Docker. We do want to use npx. So I'm going to grab this npx, Control C to copy it, and I'm going to put it back on that text file that I had here. All right, but you're going to notice it says your API key, meaning it needs my API key in order to work. So in order for me to use Brave's API key, guess what I type in on Google? Brave API. All right, I'm going to come over here. And by the way, for all the people that are nervous about like stealing my API key, have at it. I'm going to delete it as soon as this is done because I don't want anybody accessing my API keys, right? So I'm going to log in. All right, it's asked me for a code to proceed. I'm in. The second I'm in, I'm going to go directly to API keys. I'm going to add a new API key. This is going to be Claude Desktop, and I'm going to do 2 because I've already done this before. So I'm going to go ahead and then add, and again, I'll delete this one just for samples. I'm going to hit copy, and I'm going to go back to this version right here, and I'm going to place it right here in between here. And again, you guys are going to be able to see this, but it's okay because I'm going to delete it. And now, very important, I go to File, Save As, and remember on the instructions it said, add this to this Claude folder, and I'm going to hit copy and go back to my little text file, and I'm going to change this to all files, and I'm going to paste it just like this, and I'm going to hit save. Now, you know you did it right, because if you go back to that folder area, you should see now a Claude Desktop .json file, and now I can delete this. All right. Now, if that's all good to go, I can open it up. Now I have a code viewer, and you notice that this is what it looks like, right? Here's my code viewer in here. Download VS Code, Sublime, any of those. It just makes it a little bit easier. If you don't want to use it, you can just open up with text file and it'll do the same thing. I have this, it just makes it a whole lot easier for it. Now, this is all set to go, and I can check to see if it's going to go, because what I'm going to do next is I'm going to click on Claude. Remember, I shut Claude down completely. I'm going to click Claude, and I'm going to know it's going to be right, because now when I click Claude, you should see the little MCP connection right here. And it says installed MCP servers, example servers, Brave Search. And now if I want to test it, please give me today's NVIDIA's stock price. All right, now it's gonna search the web based on that. Searching the web, boom, there we go. And it's giving me a whole bunch of other information, right? Now, let's take it a step further, right? Let's now go in and grab that fetcher that is gonna basically allow me to install other servers. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna go over back to my servers up top. And if I scroll down to see all the different servers, like I said, we have GitHub, Google Drive, and all that. And again, I don't want to get too crazy into this because this thing is really, really powerful, but it's going to definitely open up. I'll install Airbnb just to make it a little fun so we can have it in there. But first, I'm going to do the fetch. There is an MCP Fetcher. There's even one that helps you create servers, believe it or not, which I said, as you get into this, this is a massive rabbit hole. So look, it's got the MCP installer, this server that installs MCP servers for you. So I'm just going to grab it. Now I'm going to come over here and same as before, NPX, put this in your Claude, either in this, whatever, right? So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go ahead and go back to, again, that file. That file is the key to all of this, by the way, guys. And this is called a JSON file. If you want to learn how to code JSON, it's definitely worth your time. Let me see if I can actually try to open it up with the text file. Let me see, choose another app, more apps. I'm going to see if I can open up a Notepad. Yeah, so it makes it easier for us to do it, right? Now notice if I just come down here and do this, that's not going to work, right? So what I do is I pasted it just like this. I copy this. I'm going to go to Claude. I'm going to say, hey, please help me fix this file. And I paste it and it rewrites the code for me so it's in a better format. And look, here we go. And then all I do is copy it, go back to my JSON file, right, that I did. Hold on. Yep, here it is right here. I'm going to paste it, and just take out the other wording in here. You don't need any of that. And I'm just going to hit File, Save. All right, now if you go back to the instructions, I'm going to show you how to do some advanced stuff in here. But once you do this, this is kind of how the lay of the land is going to work for you now. Okay, so now let's go back to the instructions. It looks like everything is set, but let's go ahead and see if it works. Now remember, in order for me to see whether or not this is good to go, I have to shut down all of Claude. And in the PC, you actually have to go to the Claude kind of desktop little icons in here and click Claude and restart it again. The reason being is, remember, you're changing a whole configuration file and needs to reconnect. So I click on the connectors again, installed, MCP installer. Okay, now that we have Brave installed and we have the installer installed, let's do one more where, again, we're going to go in here and we're going to do it more manually so you guys can kind of understand this. I'm going to go and check out, let's see, Airbnb. Let's see if we can do this one. It gets listings, right? Airbnb search, features, installing on Claude desktop. Let's go ahead and open this right here. Copy this. Again, it literally says in Claude desktop and it tells you where. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to go again to my configuration file for everybody that forgot where it is. Let's just kind of search for it again. So I'm going to click on my File Explorer again, right in here. Type in File Explorer, open it up. This brings it up right here. If you can't see those files, remember there's a little hidden thing in here. You're going to go into your C drive, okay? Inside your C drive, you're going to go to Users. Inside of Users, you're going to go to Nuno, or your username, obviously. And then coming over here, App Data. And if you can't see App Data, remember your folders are hidden. So you go to View and make sure you put Hidden Items. Then we're going to go to Roaming. We're going to go to our all the way down to, well, not all the way down. We're going to go to Claude. We're going to go to our configuration file, our Claude desktop file. And it right now has the installer, has the servers. What we're going to do is we're going to copy this. And we're going to copy this. We are going to go over to Claude that we have open and goes, please add this. Okay. Again, I'm being super beginning with you guys. So then you guys can see how I kind of cheat around this. I'm going to copy it, go back to Claude, and I'm going to say to this existing file. All right, a little bit more technical, but watch this on slow-mo. You guys will get it. Copy the file that was there, paste it, and let it do its thing. Because all we want to do is have a very concise file where it makes all the sense in the world here. Boom, here we go. And we're going to try it out. So let's go ahead and hit copy. Come over here, paste it. We're going to hit File, Save. Now, if you start getting errors, just realize sometimes these servers are not up and they go down. If they go down, just remove it and go back and just try it back at a later time. There's nothing you can really control about that, but this is the way you would do it. Sometimes it requires API keys, like I mentioned before. Sometimes it will tell you that you need to do extra steps. Just follow the instructions on Claude and ask it, hey, can you please give me step-by-step? And I'm a complete beginner, have no idea what you're talking about. And it will do that. All right, go to Claude. Oh, again, always remember, we have to hit save. Come in here. We're going to quit. Hit Claude again. Now, if this connected right in, there's no issues. We'll see the connector. Oh, Airbnb is in here. So now we're going to say, please help me find accommodations for one adult and child. Trying to take my son to Japan in October 2025 for 2 weeks, close to Tokyo, and some fun activities. Okay. All right. It's going in there. Yep. Allow for this chat, which I like that it asks that because it shows you how secure this thing is. And it's going to give you all the things. Look, it's grabbing all the listings. It's doing everything that it needs to do. How cool is this, right? And just now imagine there's a bunch of servers you can start playing with, but now you have the ability of going in there. Now look, it has all the options and it's bringing it back. Look at that. How cool is that? Pretty cool, right? So, and it's pulling it directly from the Airbnb or Airbnb kind of server. So it's accessing that data that you have there. So that's pretty much it. So you got introduced to the world of MCPs. You now have a more powerful kind of example of what you need to do to hook up like all your different MCPs that you're allowed. You're going to run into errors. Don't get frustrated. Use Claude to decode them because that's the best way. But again, and some servers go up and down and sometimes they'll stop working. If they do, just disconnect them, delete them from there and add them and vice versa. And you'll make it a much better experience. Regardless of which, hope you enjoyed this video. Now you have a supercharged AI and we'll see you in the next one.